welcome back to the Burt Gummer Memorial Rec Room. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about cleaning. You can imagine in the gun industry, in the gun world, cleaning is like everything else. Everybody has their preference, everybody has their chemical, everybody has their way of doing things. I'm probably not going to learn much new here. Just going to kind of give you my little take on it, right? A little spin that I have. And it starts with a conversation about washing your car, right? So there's kind of three ways you can wash your car. You can go to the gas station, say yes at the pump, I want a car wash, and you can drive through that brush or brushless car wash thing where you sit in your car and you go down a conveyor belt and the outside kind of gets dusted off with some water and some soap. And if you ever notice though, when you get out of there and you get real close up, you'll see the bugs are still on the grill, still a little bit of dirt down in those hard to reach corner places. So it's kind of a speed, shiny looking, it looks fancy on the road when you're driving 60, but if you really pay attention, you really look at it, it's not super clean, right? So then the second way you can do it, of course, is to get in your driveway, get a bucket, get a hose, get your own brushes and your own sponges, and just go to town, right? A couple of hours later, you got a nice shiny car. Maybe you threw on some wax, maybe you didn't, but certainly can get it a lot cleaner than that little brushless drive-through, right? And then the third way is to hire somebody to detail it, okay? You can pay that Great American Car Wash $400 and they'll steam clean the engine, they'll steam clean that carriage, they'll wash and shampoo the carpets, they'll hand wax that thing when they're done washing it, and when you go to pick it up, it'll look like a brand new car. You will be amazed, right? But you're going to pay for the service. So when it comes to cleaning your gun, you can certainly do all three of those. You can kind of quickly hit it, get it nice and ready for the next round. You can disassemble it, clean it up a bit, make it a little better, what I would call the normal kind of cleaning. And then you can go OCD and you can try to clean it until every patch comes out completely white, right? It's going to take you 3-4 hours, going to scrub it down, right? So we're going to talk about some of those ways here real quick, short video. So the number one thing about cleaning your firearm is to make sure that you have no ammo around anywhere near you, right? I got some back there, but I won't get it out. It's in the containers. There's no ammo on deck here. There's no ammo in my pockets, right? I take my gun that I'm going to clean here, and no ammo in the magazine, no ammo in the chamber, right? So that one's good. Got this Glock over here. On all my boxes, I put a little dot where the muzzle is so that I know which way to face in a safe direction, so I'm not muzzling myself or others at the gun range or at home when I'm trying to clean it. I'm going to open it up. Nothing in the magazine. Nothing in that magazine. Nothing in the gun. Completely clean. Alright, so rule number one, no ammo, right? Rule number two, how do you clean your gun, right? Hopefully you got the manual, okay? I got the Glock manual, I got the VP manual, and you know, if you've purchased a firearm secondhand and maybe you don't have the manual or maybe you lost the manual, Amazon, you can find great little handbooks, yellow handbooks for just about any. I looked already, I found the Glock one, I found the VP one. This is, of course, is a 5.56 AR one, and it has all the stuff in there, right? If you're going to try to use YouTube as your reference, I would encourage you to watch 4, 5, 6 videos, right? Don't watch one and done. Everybody has their kind of method. Some people you're going to see and you're like, oh, I like that. Some people you're going to see and like, that guy's an idiot, right? So don't just grab YouTube and say H&K VP40, pop the first video and watch it. It may ruin your gun, may get you injured, might not be the best. So watch 4 or 5 of them, okay? With that said, this could be one of your 4 or 5, right? So generally, when I'm cleaning, I like to have the gun kit, right? So you got all kinds of gun kits. That's the other thing. You can buy an $8 kit that covers all of your handguns on Amazon. You can buy a $20 kit that is your Hops number 9 complete kit. Got your patches and your jags and all that in there. You got your cleaning solutions. You got some chemicals. You got a cloth, right? So you can certainly purchase something like that. You can just get a pad, get your own little pad, put it down, get you a couple toothbrushes, right? So this one here, where's my remote? See if I can do this or not. Zoom. Can you read that? This brush says dry on it, right? So I have two toothbrushes, one dry and one not. Right? The dry one never gets wet. Back out here. Right? And you're going to grab you some rags, maybe so maybe you got your toothbrushes, you got your couple of old t-shirts you've cut up, you got your Glock nylon brush, right? Maybe you got that. That's all you really need, really, in a chemical, right? Again, I go a little bit further because I have work with a lot of students. I bought these master cleaning stations, which I really like, from Real Avid. The Real Avid Master Cleaning Station, right? So has a pad built in, has all the tools here, right? We'll talk about some of those real quick. So when you set it up properly, the cleaning kit is opens up on your right side over here, right? It's got all of your jags and all of your brushes. It's got an extra double brush. It's got some tiny little brushes. Maybe I can get them out. Right? It's got some tiny little brushes. They got a little tools on the end here for doing things also, so you can get in the crevices and the cracks, right? So again, it's a personal preference thing, but I'm gonna use this today to kind of go over a couple of things with you, right? So number one, no ammo. Number two, your chemical, right? When you talk to gun guys about chemicals, you're going to everybody, man. Some people only use Hops number 9. Some people only use Ballistol, right? Some people want a CLP, clean, lubricate, protect, one and done, right? There's MP Pro 7. Let's talk about some of these, right? So Ballistol, okay? Or break-free CLP. This is pretty good stuff. The problem that I have with this is got a whole bunch of warnings, right? Contains petroleum distillates. Use proper ventilation. Wear safety glasses, wear gloves, avoid skin contact, eye contact, do not swallow or inhale. In case of ingestion, seek medical attention, right? Get air. If in contact with your skin, wash thoroughly. So you're going to want some gloves with this stuff, right? You're going to want to get a pair of gloves if you're going to be using this CLP. You're going to want your glasses on. You don't want to splash your eyes. I do keep some eye wash, drop things handy in case I get a splash in my eye. Hopefully I won't get that far, but the CLP's got a lot of warnings, got a lot of things. Don't want to get it probably on your wood of your fancy guns that have wood on them. You probably don't want to spill it on your carpet or your floor, so be really careful with that, right? MP Pro 7, this stuff is pretty good. It has only a couple of warnings here, right? MP Pro 7 products are odorless, non-toxic, non-hazardous, biodegradable, non-flammable, and environmentally safe, right? It's all made out of natural chemicals. I got some friends that really love this stuff. The thing about the MP Pro 7, this is gun cleaner, right? So where's your lubricator? Where's your protector, right? So then you got to get the gun oil, right? So I got the cleaner and I got the oil. Where's my protection, right? That's the oil. You're going to do it twice, right? One for lube and one for protection. So again, now you got to buy 2 bottles, right? As opposed to this is 1 bottle, right? This is some foaming extreme performance when you have very difficult cleaning things that are going to really require some hard work and action. MC25. Caution, keep out of the reach of children. Avoid ingestion, inhalation, and eye contact, right? So, again, and then I got a little bit of just Wilson gun oil, just in case you need a little oil around. You always got to have a little bit of oil. My preference is the Ballistol, right? Ballistol is a multi-purpose, lubricates, penetrates, protects, preserves. It's good for firearms, leather, knives, tools, locks, marine, eco-friendly, skin-safe, no carcinogens. But it is under pressure, so there is a warning about, flammable because it's under pressure and it's an aerosol can, right? Breathing hazard. Use only in a well-ventilated area. Do not breathe the vapors or spray mist. Deliberate or direct inhalation of vapors or mist may be harmful. I think you have to put that on there because people like to, inhale aerosol cans. But I found that it's pretty good. It's not bad stuff. It has a little bit of an odor people like or don't like, I don't know. But what I like about the Ballistol, clean, lubricate, protect. It's good for everything. If I spill it on my wood, I can shine it up and it looks really nice. It's good for wood. It's good for leather. So if I spill it on there, so I usually just use Ballistol, right? On my handguns, on my rifles. If I get into the AR kind of thing where you're really getting into the nitty gritty and the cleaning and the scrubbing, it's probably going to be a different story. But today I'm just going to review handguns, right? So my preferred method, personally, is the driveway method, right? I'm in the driveway, I got my bucket, I got my sponge, that's all this stuff. I got my manual to tell me how to disassemble it. So I take my firearm, grab the Glock here because it's pretty simple, right? Cycle it a couple of times. Dry fire after you make sure it's empty, right? You can dry fire on the Glock, pull it back a little ways. You got to pull both of the slide release levers down on both sides and then just slide the lever off, right? So we got to disassemble into two pieces, right? We have the frame, we have the upper, the slide, the barrel. We're going to take the spring off, recoil spring, set that aside, right? We got our barrel, we got our slide. And that's it, right? 4 pieces to clean a Glock. So generally what you're going to want to do if you're doing the driveway method and you've shot 400 or 500 rounds, you want to clean it, right? So first thing you're going to want to do, of course, the dirtiest part is going to be the barrel, right? This is where the cartridge goes in the bore here, comes out the muzzle, and this is going to be pretty dirty. So you're going to want to spray this down really good, inside, outside, just soak it up, right? Okay? And then you let that sit while you're doing the rest, okay? So again, back to what I said about the brush. I got a dry brush and a non-dry brush when I'm using my own stuff, right? When I have the master cleaning station, it comes with a double brush, right? There's a nylon brush and there's a wire brush, right? I always keep the wire brush as my wet brush, the nylon brush as my dry brush. Why do I need a dry brush and a wet brush? Well, when you mop your kitchen floor, the first thing you got to do is sweep it, right? That way you're not making mud, you're not making piles of dirt and mud. So first thing you're going to want to do is take your dry brush and sweep all of the old carbon off of the firearm, right? And I like to make sure that I'm pointing down. I like to make sure that gravity is helping me, and just dust it off, right? Get all the loose debris so that we're not making mud. Same thing here. Get the firing pin right in there. You want to keep that firing pin pointed down. Make sure no dirt's falling in it. Make sure all the dirt's falling straight down. Just kind of dust it off there, okay? Sweet little quick dust with the broom. Easy enough. Now we got to clean, right? So, how do we clean this thing? Well, if you look at the upper, anywhere you see metal on metal contacts, you got your slide rails here, your back slide rails, your front slide rails, you're going to want to clean those. Your feed ramp from the magazine area, you're going to want to make sure that's good and clean, right? The rest of it you can just kind of wipe down. It's not too bad, right? I don't try to get too much junk into the trigger area. I don't try to get too much junk back into where the striker and the firing pin and all that is. So, again, I use my Ballistol. I'll usually take my wire brush and I'll spray my brush and not my gun, right? That way I'm not making piles of liquid mud in my gun. I got my brush sprayed, and I just hit those areas, up underneath them, right? Scrub them down a little bit, get up in that, where that feed ramp is at, right? Get that scrubbed, right? And again, at this point you're scrubbing the debris loose that was stuck on there. Anything that doesn't look too shiny, make it shiny again, right? Once you've done that, you can take your rag and wipe it off, dig in there a little bit. Some of these hard to reach places, like up underneath the rails, your kit usually comes with some sort of little dental pick looking thing. I can put that at a little bit of an angle with my cleaning rag and get up in there and scrub that down like that, right? I don't go straight down because then I just get a sharp point and scratchy. I go kind of at an angle. Or, better yet, personally, I like to go on Amazon and grab some their inkjet printer cleaning tools. I have 3 different sizes. I'll show them to you here shortly. So I generally have some pretty big ones that are nice and good, soft. non-lint leaving. It's like a little sponge instead of a Q-tip which leaves lint behind. Right, so I got these kind of big fat ones. And then I got these little torpedo looking ones which are really nice. See if I can find my remote again. Oh. So I set the remote down at. Oh, right here. Okay. Alright, so little torpedo looking one is very nice. This one actually, if I spray a little Ballistol on it, it'll actually get right up underneath those rails. I don't know if you can, how well you can see that, but right up underneath those rails. It's nice. Okay, and I just look for it to come back gray. I'm not looking for it to come back white. A little bit of gray is not going to hurt. A little bit of gray is not going to hurt nothing. Right? Again, this isn't the Great American $400. This is the driveway. Right? So we're just doing that little bit here and there. Right? You can get the big one. You can scrub in your feed ramp area. You can hit those metal on metal contacts. You can get up underneath there. Right? Simple enough, right? When it's all been scrubbed and brushed and cleaned, I like to wipe it down really hard and strong with a nice piece of old t-shirt. And then just to finalize it, I'll take one more little torpedo looking one and just put a little bit of Ballistol under the slide rails, like so, a little bit on top of them, like so. And there we go, right? So that's done. It's that simple. The upper, same thing, right? I'm going to want to take my bristle brush, right? I'm going to want to hit some of these areas down in here where the barrel sits down in there. Maybe these rails. Again, watching out not to try to get too much down inside of the firing pin. I don't want to tip it up and have liquid run down in there. I keep it pointed down so liquid doesn't run down. And again, do that and then hit it with this, or hit it with your inkjet printer cleaner. Right, easy, simple. And then one more time, again, taking my inkjet printer torpedo, running just a little bit of Ballistol into the slide rail grooves. Boom chakalaka. There's a little metal on metal contact here. Boom chakalaka. And then down in here, I know, it's my skin. Whatever. I put a little bit on my finger, just a little bit, and then rub that down in where the barrel is going to sit, because the barrel is going to be rubbing metal on metal, and I'd rather have Ballistol on Ballistol. Right? And again, wipe off the outside, nice. Okay? So it's not super wet. It's just a little light coating of Ballistol to keep everything moving smooth and running smooth, right? So now we're to the barrel. We've got everything cleaned. The barrel's been soaking. If it was really dirty, it's going to need some attention. So I usually pick it up with a rag and wipe it off first to get most of that black gook that's been cooking off. Okay? We got to get in the barrel. So how do we get in the barrel? As you know, you got a wire brush over here. Usually they're labeled for the size of your barrel. This is a 9mm. This is a 9mm, right? So, or this is a 380. This is a 9mm. This is a 9mm. What am I thinking? You have you got your handle, right? You got your stick with your handle, right? Now, me personally, I don't even use the handle, right? The handle lets it rotate and it's nice, but the problem is, put the handle on, you're either going in and out, or you're going in, take the handle off. I prefer not to go in the opposite direction, right? I prefer to go from the chamber to the muzzle, right? That way, like that, right there. And I just go clean through and pull back out, right? A couple of times to get that broke loose, right? So now it's, again, the brush is not actually cleaning it, but breaking it loose, right? It's broke loose, it's in there, ready to be cleaned now. So how do we clean it? Okay, so you take your your brush off. And all of these kits come with these jags, right? You got these little jags. I'm not a fan of these jags. You put a patch on the jag, shove the jag through, the patch falls off. Put the patch on the jag, shove the jag through, the patch falls off. Not a fan of that, right? In most of these cleaning kits, you'll also have a patch tip as opposed to a jag. The tip looks like a little sewing needle or something. I'm not quite sure what you want to call it. An eyeball, eyelet. All right, so we have that little thing. Let me see if I can do one more zoom here. All right, and you feed your patch through there, and now you got patch stuck. It's not coming off. It's not coming off, right? Okay, so we put that back on our stick, on our handle, if you will. Now this is cloth, so it doesn't really matter. You can go in and come back out, and go in, wiggle it around a little bit, press it up against the edges so you can get some cleaning action. As you can see, I've had this cleaned already, so most of my students, like Tom Sawyer, my students pay me to clean my firearms. Kind of nice, right? So got that patched out a couple of times. When you're all done and said, you got a clean patch, you can put a little ballast on your patch, just a little tea spray, and then run it through one last time so that everything is lubed in there, right? On the outside, your locking lug area, you want to make sure that's nice and clean. Your feed ramp, you want to make sure that's nice and clean. Get your towel, get your patch, whatever you want to use, scrub that all up, right? Get that all good and cleaned, right? And then again, before I reassemble, I like to put a little teeny drop on my finger, and just the flat part of this barrel where it's going to be riding in there, metal on metal. I'd rather have ballastol on ballastol than metal on metal, right? Okay, so put that back in. Now, I haven't said anything about the recoil spring. Personally, the recoil spring makes this whole thing work. The recoil spring makes your slide work, so I'm not a fan of scrubbing this thing up. I'm not a fan of getting this all lubricated and wet. You're going to make mud. So I usually wait till the last thing and then find a spot on my towel that I've used and just wipe it off, right? Just wipe it off. Don't spray nothing. Whatever we've already got on the rag should keep it nice and clean, right? Beautiful. Put that back on there. Put that back in there. Right? That's back together. Okay? Might want to take your little cleaning brushes again, your little inkjet printer, and just put a little bit of lube in your rail if you haven't done that already. Ink. Right? So it's just a little bit of lube in the rail. Put it back on. Three functional tests that I like to do. All right, functional test number one is listen for the trigger to reset. That worked, right? Now we got to reset it, so I'm going to hold it tight, cycle it, let it go, and hear the reset, okay? And then finally, because I talked about the firing pin and how we don't want to get liquid all up in there and get it all gooky, how do we test to make sure the firing pin's working? A trick somebody once showed me was you take a pencil with an ice eraser on it, put it in the barrel, eraser down. If you pull the trigger, the firing pin should hit the pencil and make it jump just a little bit. And you can also check the eraser to see if there's a little indent where the firing pin hit it, right? Oh, there you go, nice jump. Look at it. Sure enough, there's an indent right there. So the trigger pull works, the trigger reset works, and the firing pin's working. So this is good to go, okay? And that's kind of the driveway method, right? People want to know about magazines. How do you clean your magazine? When do you clean your magazine, right? I'm not a fan of too much cleaning of the magazine. There's a little pin on the bottom. You push the pin in, you slide the bottom plate off. The follower and the spring come out. You can clean the follower up a little bit. I wouldn't get it too wet again. You're going to have all your ammo in there. You start getting it all gooky and wet. It's going to make it yucky. So maybe once a year when an orange follower looks black, I might hit it a little bit. But that's about it. Okay. So that's kind of the quick and dirty on the driveway method, right? So how about the brushless car wash method? What's that all about, right? I'm at the gas station. The pump says, "Do you want a car wash?" I say yes, right? And I get my car semi-clean at best, right? Kind of shiny on the highlights, but if you really look, I said the bugs are still on the windshield. The there's little dirt patches down by the tires still, right? It's not the greatest thing. So what's that? How do you do that when you're talking about a gun? What does that mean, right? So the H&K here, right? So let's say you've gone to the range. This one's got the H&K on it. Let's say you've gone to the range and you fired your firearm. No magazine. It's open. Let's say you've gone to the range and you fired your firearm 10 or 15, 20, 50 rounds. 50 rounds, that's it, right? You just shot a box and you're ready to go home. It's not super dirty. It doesn't need to be disassembled and cleaned. So what do we do, right? So maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. The old bore snake, right? So the bore snake is a thing that has a little cleaning area. It's got little scrub brushes built in, and then it's got the wipe down, right? So the way this is supposed to work is you get your cleaning area, you put a little cleaner of your favorite kind on the cleaning area. You got your scrub brush, it's going to clean it off, and then you're going to want to put some kind of lubricant down on the end at the end to finalize it, right? Just a splash, right? And then all you got to do is take the little weight, drop it down the barrel from the chamber end to the muzzle end, and pull it through, and wet presto. Okay, it's got your feed ramp nice and clean. It's got your barrel nice and clean. If you've done 50 rounds, that's probably good enough. If you're going to shoot again soon, right? If you're putting it away for a while, you're going to want to get those rails lubricated. You're going to want to get all that CLP, the P part, the protection part, because you're putting it away. But if I'm going to use this gun in 3 or 4 days, I'm going back to the range, the bore snake after 50 rounds is hunky-dory, right? And personally, when I taking students, they get 5 or 10 rounds now with ammo prices. So we're shooting 10 rounds through it. I run a bore snake through it. I do that 6 or 7 times, and then I finally have rotated through all my firearms in class where they got to clean one, and they get to clean that one. So it's kind of nice. Okay. All right. A couple other things that you might want to note if you're cleaning your gun and you're particularly want to get really into it. You might grab a flashlight and you might get in there and look around, right, and see what you're missing and getting, right? Just take the Glock real quick. All right. So you got your Glocks disassembled. You got your barrel out. You want to take your flashlight, look down in there, make sure it's nice and clean, right? Okay. Look at these parts and pieces. Look over here. You're like, man, right? You can't do a lot with a flashlight in your hand, right? You're kind of, the hand's kind of tied up, right? I found these gloves that I really am fascinated with. So this one is this hand here. This one is this hand over here. Goes right on your thumb and your finger. And now you got lights, right? Now when you're working on the gun, you're cleaning it, you're scrubbing it. The light is, I've got my brush and I've got my light, and my light's going, and I can see what's going on while I'm cleaning. It's very nice. I'm very impressed with these gloves. They're working out pretty well for me, right? So if you want a little more intense table lamp, if you don't have a table lamp and you want some light, you can clip this on your hat or something, right? This has a hat clip. The problem with this one is the hat clip is backwards, right? So it's pointing at me, right? It's not going to help. I've got some that have the clips that go like that. That's okay. You can hit the headlamp. That's okay, but these gloves are really nice. They got your fingers open, and they got the lights right there. While I'm working, it's in there. I can see it. It's nice and bright. Pretty happy with these, right? So again, light car wash in the driveway, disassemble, that kind of thing. Intense cleaning. You could be here all day if you really wanted to get every speck of dirt, every speck of thing off of it. So that's about it. Get you a cleaning kit, pick your favorite chemical, get you some inkjet printer cleaners, and enjoy. Thanks. handy dandy remote right here. Alright, until next time, I'll see you on the range.